First Minister Nicola Sturgeon has been confronted by angry residents in her constituency in Glasgow. People in Govan Hill say they're living in squalid conditions that are going from bad to worse. Glasgow City Council and the Scottish Government have put in nearly £10 million to buy out private properties that are decaying and overcrowded. Despite the efforts, locals say they are living in conditions which have no place in the 21st century. STV reporter Amy Irons has this report.
I can only say, please help us. It's just like we are living like animals.
All these pictures and all these videos.
Oh, there's a rat! Oh my God. This is just disgusting.
You're only about 5 minutes away from Hampden Park. Is this really Glasgow? Is this really the 21st century?
A walk through Govan Hill in 2016, a place where home has become hell, with scenes that revolt and disgust in equal measure.
The place is a shambles. It's stinking, it's manky, and we will continue campaigning. We are not going to stop.
Me, I'm cleaning everything, everything. I'm going here. That is mine here space.
I don't want to stay here and don't want to live here. Please give me some place where I want to go, because I don't want to stay here. Is a lot of problems. Sometimes I call the police, sometimes call the hub. Nothing, all is helpless.
Amir took us inside his close to show us the dire conditions of this private tenement. Essential repairs by landlords are clearly ignored.
It's nearly 2 or 3 years this happened, and this all is because they're renting property. The people who is managing this property, who don't care about that. I told the guy who is managing this one, you need to do this one. You need to do it, but he nothing.
Amir's story isn't unique. In an area of overcrowding and high concentrations of private landlords, conditions like this have plagued Govan Hill for years. The Scottish Government and Glasgow City Council have highlighted it as a high priority area and are ploughing in nearly £10 million into a scheme which aims to buy out these properties and get them into some kind of control. But the problem is so big that local campaigners here say it's not enough and confronted the First Minister while she was in her own constituency last weekend.
I know that there's elderly people and hundreds of families living in a ghetto where there's infestations of rat, bed lice, cockroaches and vermin. And I take it you've seen the videos of the back courts. Have you ever done a selfie in the back courts?
I raised the issue to the back courts repeatedly. You know what, you want to come to my surgery anytime?
Well, I take the view that it's less productive to talk about who's responsible and more productive to talk about how me as MSP, the local councillors, the Scottish Government, the Council, the police, different agencies work together to resolve these problems, and that's what I will continue to be focused on.
STV News showed our footage to the director of Shelter Scotland.
These are unbelievable, to think that people are living in these conditions in 21st century Scotland. Everything about that is wrong. Scotland has done a great deal over the last 25, 30 years to actually improve its housing, but quite clearly we need more still to be done.
For all agencies involved, getting Govan Hill out of this dire situation is a complex problem which will take time. But for some residents here, it already feels like a life sentence.
Now is the community campaigner Liz Crosby, who you saw in that report, and Adam Lang from Shelter Scotland. Thanks for joining us. Liz, you were born and brought up in Govan Hill. We saw you in that report shrieking at the rats. I mean, that's just unbelievable. Is it really as bad as we saw from those pictures?
Do you know, you could say it's worse than what you saw in the pictures. It's absolutely disgusting. It's filthy. It's manky. It's disgusting.
And is that all on the outside, or what are the buildings like inside?
There are no repairs. You've seen some of the closest people. They've got, when they're taking their bins out to the back court, they've got to dodge things falling for the ceilings, for the roofs.
That sounds quite dangerous.
It's got to, all the bottom flat windows have all got bars. You know, bars in the windows, and there's like, you hear kids screaming behind the bars, and you think that's got to be health and safety. What if there's a fire? They can't get out because the windows are all barred up, but that's only safe. That's the only way they can feel safe.
Adam, it seems shocking that people are having to live like this.
It's unbelievable, and it absolutely shouldn't be the case in this day and age, in 2016, that anybody in Scotland should have to live in conditions like that. I mean, we're talking about families, elderly people. Nobody should have to live in a home like that. Everybody in Scotland has the right to a safe, secure and affordable home. And clearly that is not the case for far too many people, and particularly the images we've seen for the people in Govan Hill.
Definitely.
And Liz, what kind of effect does that have on people living there then?
The effect it out because of the crime rate in the area. They're embarrassed to admit that you're embarrassed to say you come from Govan Hill now. Whereas I'm born and bred there, I was proud to be there. You're now embarrassed to say that Govan Hill is where you come from, because you just imagine Govan Hill is a thoroughfare to go into town or in anywhere. You know, you go in the bus, you've got to go through Govan Hill to go to the town centre or anywhere. And they just imagine that people in the bus are looking at the state of the place and thinking everybody's like that. You know, they're all disgusting that live here. And it's a shame for the people that aren't like that. You know, they want a nice, safe, clean area.
And what is the knock-on effect for families if they're living in really substandard housing?
I think it's really significant. I think some of the points Liz was saying there about community cohesion is a big part. You know, if the housing conditions are in that kind of state of disrepair, the impact it has on people's mental health and physical health is really significant. It has a really detrimental effect on people, particularly children, particularly the elderly. As well as people's ability to go out and get work if their days are taken up worrying about their home and the condition of the place they go home at night.
So what can be done then? Let's look ahead, Liz. I mean, nearly £10 million been invested and there doesn't seem to be any sign of improvement.
So they've made the area an enhanced enforcement area. So
what does that mean?
That means that they now have the powers to go in, tackle the rogue landlords, tackle the cleansing issues, tackle everything, you know. They can't say we've not got the money to do this because they need to get the money now. So, and we're asking why, if you have got this, why are you not using the power? Why do you not just now get in and sort it? You know, get in and sort the place out. Speak to get the rogue landlords, find the people that are dumping, get the CCTV up that they promised us we'll be waiting a year for. They put the poles up, they've still not put that up. We want them to get the CCTV up. We want Nicola Sturgeon, Glasgow City Council, Govan Hill Housing, Police Scotland to get round the table, work together, come up with a plan that they can do to sort the area out.
Adam, do you think there needs to be more legislation in place, or how do you think this should be approached?
Well, I think, firstly, Liz is absolutely right. They've got to start taking action. They've got to address this head on, and that involves national government, local government and Glasgow City Council and the other partners such as Police Scotland. Action now and exists the laws that we currently have in terms of landlord registration, so we know who the landlords are, enforcing the existing orders that can be brought to bear to try and tidy up some of these areas and make them cleaner. But I think also there is a need to look at the quality standards we have for homes in Scotland and look at a new common quality standard that would really drive up the quality of all homes in Scotland in the private rented sector, social rented.
Well, I was going to go on to say to you, is this what's happening here in Govan Hill? Do you think that's unique just to Govan Hill, or is this played out across Scotland in some areas?
I think sadly it's probably not unique to Govan Hill. I mean, certainly these images are really shocking and show what's going on there on the ground today. But I think that across Scotland there are probably pockets across the country of areas like this, because we know that rogue landlords are a problem. They are a minority, but they are a problem in areas right across the country, and we know that landlord registration isn't as high as it could be across the piece, so it's harder to target in on who those landlords are and to address these problems.
I mean, going forward, you have optimism that, you know, it can get sorted, that it can get cleaned that, you know, it can get sorted, that it can get cleaned up, Liz?
Oh, I hope so. We'll not stop campaigning till it gets cleaned up. You know, we'll not stop campaigning till they get that area safe and clean for people to live in.
Yeah, because as I said, you were born and brought up there. It wasn't like that then, was it? Do you feel a certain sadness that it's come to this?
Oh, definitely. You know, definitely. To look, just to walk down the streets, it's horrible. You know, it's horrible because it was never I'm not saying it was a great area, but you were safe. It was clean. You'd go out the back courts to play. Can't put your kids out the back courts today because there's rats running about. And homes
are at the absolute heart of communities. This needs to be addressed.
Definitely.
Okay, and we will leave it there. But Adam and Liz, thank you very much indeed for joining us this evening.
Thanks very much.